images are a language, but in a globalized market, they are, above all, a currency. In a world where visual culture moves at the speed of data, the question is no longer who holds the camera, but who controls the frame. Today, we are joined by one of those rare minds navigating the fine line between raw human storytelling and technical excellence. This is a conversation about excellence as a survival strategy, about identity as creative infrastructure, about what it means to produce fully, unapologetically from where you are. Kofi, welcome to Hors Script. On your website, Kofi, you define yourself as a multi-hyphenate. Is the multi-hyphenate model the only viable path for an African creative today? Or is it a trap that keeps us from excelling in a single discipline?
Thanks for having me today, Joel. So multi-hyphenates, oftentimes, I think currently when it comes to the creative economy, looking at experiences for African creators, most of them have had to take on so many roles within the creative system because looking at the current ecosystem, you cannot appear to wear just one hat. So a lot of creatives have been, I don't want to say compelled, have had to take on several roles within the space. So we often found ourselves, maybe right from college, we've taken on certain creative roles, and then as we advance in the career or in the space, we take on extra roles. So we happen to do so many different things under one space. So for example, when I finished school, I started doing content creation, and then I entered into digital media, where I started doing digital strategy, social media marketing, and other things, up until now, where I now do more of creative production. So yes, you can say a multi-hyphenate because I've had to touch on so many different roles within the space. So I can confidently call myself a multi-hyphenate because I wear so many hats. And that is the same story that creators who have worked within the space for decades, for a very long time, for like so many years. So I think it's the way we kind of find our feet, is the way we survive, because somebody, a job might come and they are requiring you to have 2 or 3 skills. So because of that, you are also compelled to, take on extra, wear extra hats or have extra skills to be able to, pass for that role. So that's the case today. Yeah.
You've worked with giants like Volkswagen and Global Citizen. How does an African creative transition from being viewed as cheap labor to becoming a premium strategic partner? What was the turning point for you to stop selling your time and start selling your value?
Yeah, so I think for me, it came with a lot of experience. I didn't start doing this today. I started doing things years ago. And when it comes to Africa, we are not so advanced when it comes to the digital creative space as compared to the West. So we have to do a lot of work to be seen globally. So I think from the onset, I started positioning myself to attract global recognition, i.e. Improving my digital currency, showing up for myself, appearing in rooms that I feel I'll get connected to networks and all that. So over the years, I think this have paid off, and the quality of my work over the years have paid off. That is how come I've been able to attract global recognition and to work strategically with global partners. So it didn't just start today. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of strategic direction. It took a lot of holding with purpose, so that I believe this is where I'm going to, and I'm working towards it. So it took a lot of years. I didn't start today. I've been in the space for a little about 9 years now. And so if I should be working with such global partners, it shouldn't be a surprise because I put in the work over the years, and that is where it has brought me. Yeah.
Kofi, you navigate the space between human storytelling and digital strategy. How do you manage to keep the human element alive when everything is so driven by data and algorithms? What farm your own journey is the one non-technical competence or soft skills that is most crucially missing in young creators today?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the digital creative space in Africa, I think communication is one thing that is missing. Yes, when you're not able to deliver a project on time, you have to be communicating along the way. And I realized that a lot of creatives do not put a lot of effort into communication. For example, giving the client updates from the start of the project to the finish and all that. We don't really have that. We don't take our email etiquette seriously. We leave emails unanswered. A lot of people even don't check their emails and realize that they've missed out on a lot of opportunities. I've spoken with a lot of creatives who have told me, oh, they missed out on an opportunity because they didn't check their email and the email, the deadline passed and all that. So I think communication is it's an important skill that is missing in the space. And if you're able to, strengthen that skill, develop that skill, that we're able to harness the opportunities in the space, it's really important to stay abreast with everything that is happening in the world today, and communicate effectively with whoever you are partnering with. It goes a long way to help your brand as a creative. Yeah.
Is it truly possible to build a world-class career while remaining based in Accra, Lomé, or Lagos? Or is leaving the continent an inevitable step to break through a certain glass ceiling?
Yes, I think I have broken out. I will not say I've broken out where I am. I still have a lot of things to do where I need to achieve, but I still think it's possible, especially even now because the world is paying attention to Africa. I've realized over the years that Africa is the future when it comes to resources, innovation, young talent, workforce. So the world is looking to Africa. Brands come all the way to Africa to get innovation, to source their raw material, to source their projects, to have their shoots and all that. So if you're able to develop our resource, if governments, invest in the youth space, in the creative economy as a driving factor of the economy, yes, if I'm able to get this far globally, it's possible. Every African creative can get there. However, it takes a lot of, weight, it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of hard work, and, doing your homework to get there. It just doesn't take one week or one gig or one post to get to where I am. You have to be consistent. Yes, and you have to really build that, capacity to be able to take on that role, being seen globally. So it's possible. It's really, really possible. People are doing it. A lot of creatives who have gone global, who have, partnered with international. So it's possible. Yeah, the way it is possible.
Okay. There is a massive debate right now regarding the automation of creativity. Some fear it, while others embrace it as a shortcut to excellence. From your perspective, do you see AI as a threat to creative professions in Africa? Or is it the ultimate tool that allows creators to produce global standard work with limited resources?
I don't think AI is a problem per se, because AI actually helps make you work faster. I don't believe AI might take all our jobs. There are certain aspects of our creativity that AI cannot determine. Storytelling, AI cannot do that for us. There are some integral parts of our processes as creators that I don't think AI can take away from us. And for me, genuinely, genuine work gets seen from work that is computer generated. And you attest to the fact that when you see AI generated content and you see work that is like manually made from like human effort, there's a huge difference. So I think AI has come is going to help us get better with our work, but I don't think it might take work away from us. At the end of the day, we still appreciate work made by humans. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
Okay. We often talk about the hustle. In a market where you have to be your own manager, accountant, and producer, how do you manage the mental weight of the one-man agency model from your own experience?
I always tell people to delegate work. You cannot do everything on your own. So if you need to hire more hands, if you need to consult more people to get a job done, do it. Sometimes collaborative work actually appears to be the best. So don't try to do everything on your own. If you cannot do something genuinely, try to hire a friend, try to hire outsource work. It makes it easier, and then you split the work. And also take rest very seriously. Rest is important. If you break down, work cannot continue. So always find space in your schedule to rest. It's really important. It gets you refreshed. It gets you get back with ideas, to continue. So rest is important, and also delegate work to take off the burden. Yeah.
To wrap up, Kofi, If you had to give just one piece of strategic advice to a young creator listening to us, someone with talent but earning less than $100 a month, what is the first thing they need to change in their routine starting tomorrow morning?
I think there are stages to the creative space. Starting out right, you might not expect to make a lot of money. You just invest bold capacity, continue adding relevant skills to your portfolio, continue showing up, showing for your work, networking strategically, not just networking anyhow. Yes, I think as the days go by, as you keep getting experience in your field, there'll be times where you get to work on bigger projects, you get to take bigger, cuts, and also try to collaborate with other people. I think, that's what I'll tell people. When I started out, I didn't get this kind of advice, but I had to learn a lot of things on my own. So I think for me, it's taking advantage of opportunities. Don't wait to, don't doubt yourself. Don't think because you've done you have just a few amounts of a project on your portfolio, you don't think you can achieve. You can actually achieve it. And I also feel creators should stop hiding. Put yourself out there. One thing that I've learned over the years is the less qualified people are taking over when the most qualified people are actually sleeping on their craft. So don't get fed. Well, that's what I'll say.
Kofi, thanks for the transparency you brought to this conversation.
Thank you, Joe.
That's it for this episode of Hors Script. See you in the next episode.